Jason McMurray here, coming at you with another quick product install video. Today I'm installing this sweet Cobra pull cord and handle on my 2020 Polaris Khaos 155-850. It's pretty straightforward, not too tough. It's even easier on my side because I'm running this GGB trail muffler, so it's not hard to pull that out to gain access to our recoil assembly right there. A few tools you're gonna need is that number 6 Allen wrench and or socket wrench, spring puller 17 millimeter, and I think that's pretty well all we need. If there's anything more as far as tools that I think we're gonna run into, I'll make sure to mention those. So that's what we need the 17 mil for, is pull this temp sensor out, and spring puller just to pull spring up there, spring down in there, spring over here, 3 springs in total. That muffler will come right out, and that's what we'll need the Allen ratchet wrench for, is to gain access to our, we're gonna end up pulling this whole recoil assembly right off. Now you will need the actual Allen key wrench to fit through this hole, because the socket type Allen wrench won't fit through that hole. So I'm gonna do a quick time lapse of the removal. When I get that off, I'll show you what you have to do to get your rope put on there. Okay, so I got the muffler removed. I've got all these Allen bolts loosened off. Both these lower ones are a bit of a pain in the butt. You gotta kind of work at them a bit to get them loose, just because they don't line up very good with the holes. This one's not bad, lines up with the hole, but you gotta use the little wrench to reach it, because the socket won't fit through that hole. But once you get it this far, it should just be sitting there ready to come off like that. Okay, you can't pull all these bolts off because they just won't come out. They bottom out on this bracket, so you kind of got to work it off. This one we'll have to pull out to get that hose bracket off there, that, and then it'll come out. Don't lose any bolts, and I'll update you once we get this a little bit further. But it's at this point that you're gonna want to cut your rope. Okay, so where it comes through your console and connects to your handle, I just snipped it right there. But don't let it just fly back inside the recoil, okay? Hang on to it when you cut it, and I just tied it to this little bracket where the pulley is for now until I get it ready to come out. Then I'll undo this knot and I'll pull the whole thing out and keep about this same amount of rope out if I can. Okay, so I got all the bolts out, and recoil is ready to come out. So remember, like I said, we tied a little knot in the cord up there on that bracket on the pulley just to hold it, and I'm just gonna flip it over here, pull it out like this all the way out till it reaches the end. Okay, and then I just hold it with my thumb, and I'll grab a screwdriver here and jam it down through one of these holes just to hold it from spinning back in, and then I'll show you what I gotta do next. Okay, so I've got the recoil rope pulled all the way out, took the tension right to the end, and then jammed a screwdriver in here just to hold the recoil, hold the spring. Now this little piece right here is where your rope's gonna come through and your knot's gonna be. This is just a rubber protective type thing. You can just get in there with a little screwdriver and just pry that off. It's gonna come off in pieces and you just pull it out of there. Okay, and then That'll allow you to get access to your rope. Pull a little bit through. Here's your knot. You want to cut that off. Side cutters usually work well. You can just snip it and pull your old rope right out. So then you want to grab your new rope and feed it through from the outside here. Fed it into my block. Use this little screwdriver just to get it up through the hole. Once you get it started up through, you can grab some needle nose, grab a hold of that thing, pull some through. This is where you're gonna wanna put a nice beefy knot like this factory one. And do like they did here. Leave yourself a little tail. Little extra on there is okay. Leave an inch or so hanging out after your knot. That'll prevent it from pulling through. Got my Cobra cord fished through my hole. I got my knot in my end. I left about 1 inch sticking out past my knot. That way the end won't pull through your knot. I've seen that happen and it sucks. So leave your end out, run your cord through, put it behind your brace, run it up to your pulley like you're gonna run it out your panel, and I just tie a knot in it to hold everything in place there. Once you get that all ready, you can pull your knot in to your recoil and make sure that end is tucked in there nice and tight in there. That way it's not gonna catch anything when you're pulling on it. Once you get it in there, you can start to tension up your rope. Pull your screwdriver out that's holding the tension on and let it wind it in. Let it wind right in. Set it in place. Now all we have to do, get our bolts back in. You'll have to put your lower bolts before you get it in there. Actually, I almost forgot. Stick those bolts in here now, then set it down in place because you can't get them in after. Okay, so we got our recoil back in place with our new cord all wound up. Like I said, don't forget to put these 2 bottom bolts before you slide this all in because you can't get them in throughout here. Same with this one. And don't forget your bracket that holds this hose. Well, I did forget it and I had to take this back off to get that bolt back in. So like I said, once you get all that in, tighten up all those bolts good and tight. You don't want them rattling loose. Okay, and remember how we had our cord tied up here? Well, then it was ready to run over our pulley and out our panel. And obviously you just tie it to your handle. Now, I would do a double knot. This is just a single knot for now. And because I have to pull this back off my console and everything, I got everything tore apart right now. But make sure you do a good double knot up here. And like I said, you can leave a little bit sticking through. Worst case, if you have to cut this, you can. It's a little tough to cut. Get some good side cutters and kind of chew your way through it, but you can cut it. But it'll show you how tough this stuff is. So there you have it. There's the install of your Cobra pull cord and handle.